coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
Power of one, the power of two, the power of...
Down to Papa Roach, please 182.
The power of one, the power of two, the power of...
He's gonna make a great step.
Holy crap! Holy crap!
This is a Journo Rat Felting emergency appeal. Every day, video game journalists like Alyssa Mercante are suffering from a mind virus called YouTuber derangement syndrome. The symptoms include intense narcissism, smugness, bizarrely inflated sense of self-importance, and above all else, an obsession with how much money YouTubers make. Particularly when they make that money covering journalists with this affliction. A little money can make all the difference to curing this terrible affliction, so please, donate anything you can, $2, $5, channel memberships, a $50 super sticker, to your nearest YouTuber. And help the spying, snitching, journo trash learn once and for all that they are irrelevant maniacs who you wouldn't piss on if they were on fire. Thank you.
Go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them. With the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
But hey, that's just a theory. A theory.
Let's take some dope.
I am like,
I have had hallucinations on weed before.
if I get that high,
Them babies, Alyssa. Disabilities. I wanted to finish Elden Ring, goddammit.
He's a piece of shit.
the reason why DEI was put in place in the first place was incredibly disingenuous racism and sexism, people being discriminated against. This was put in place to try and
disillusion young dudes.
White men or straight people. Someone's getting a job over them that doesn't deserve it. People are missing out on jobs that deserve it more than a person who's getting it because they're a woman or because they're black. These people are making a lot of money.
Morality, and now we're facing me as mortality. They lost the plot, we'll take a stand. These corporations must perish when we claim our land. Enough is enough, we've drawn the line. We'll take back our stories, a spark divine. The will of the fans, a storm on the rise. We won't be silenced by the hollow lies. We claim the legacy, break the chains. These companies must die for our world to remain. They can't take a passion. We're holding the gates for every fan stands protecting the will to create. We are the true keepers, the defenders of lore, and we won't stop until we settle the score.
Where is it?
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, what do you got here on the table today?
Yeah, I threw out a pizza poll because I thought Are you quite finished applauding? Thank you. I thought it would be fun to find out who among us are heretics who would put pineapple on pizza. Not for any reason. No, there's nothing at stake, but there you go. Oh, steak. That's what I had for dinner. It was nice. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, nothing in between. Yo, 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 it's WTF Live. That's right. We are back once again. It feels like it's been forever. Oh.
Indeed.
Finally, it has.
I think, yeah, it's been since we've done this show proper. It's been over a week. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had that whole internet hiccup last week.
Yeah.
Couldn't stream any time really last week from Tuesday on. So,
yeah. And somewhere in that process, I turned into Ryan, and well, I guess nobody turned into me. So.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. We'll see how it goes. At the moment, it looks like we are the panel for now, and hopefully everyone keeps coming back. Because at the moment, any fucking thing can happen. Everyone's welcome, of course, but that's not the point. The point is who's going to be Eye of Sauron next? Who's going to get Kefka's Light of Judgment?
Right.
So you know, we'll do our best to avoid that. Well. That's a deep reference, right? While at the same time, we're also going to have to talk about a hell of a lot of crap that has been going on. All the freshly squeezed out bullshit from the game industry as well as from Doctor Who. But primarily, in the last week, while I was festering and seething at my computer, not ever being connected to the internet properly or strongly enough to stream, all these fucking things came out. Like, Sweet Baby Inc., government funding, Camelot got kicked off the Game and Geek Expo, which is bullshit. And then, of course, most recently, we found out that we've been right this entire time about the ulterior motives of a certain Lolsuit with a certain lol cow at the helm of it, one you might even call Lolissa. But it's never really been about her.
Nope.
And it's never really been about Smash JT. It's been about all of us.
That's right. She was a means to an end, and so we don't really even have to mention her all that much today because she's immaterial.
Yeah, she's irrelevant now. It really isn't about her anymore, which I'm really relieved to say because I'm so tired of saying that name and getting put into montages for it. Badly edited montages, by the way. Deliberately, misleadingly edited montages as well. That's nice as well. Anyway,
there'll be more time for that later.
There will be plenty of time. We got a good couple of hours to go over all of this BS today. You're watching Will of the Fans. My name is still Will. I know. I haven't had to change it yet. And today, like I said, we got tons to talk about. But before that, I'm joined by, well, one regular and one sort of new semi-regular. I don't know yet. We haven't really had the conversation.
We're still trying to work that all out. Yeah, we haven't even had time to have that conversation.
Yeah, we're still courting.
You didn't know it was going to be on until like a half hour ago.
That's a true story. I really didn't. I sent out the feeler. I was like, if you want, man, you're welcome. And then he's like, I'm in. And I'm like, right, link. But of course, it's John and it's nobody. John, how you doing?
Oh, you know me. I'm awesome as always. I will be up for 24 hours at the conclusion of today's show. So I'm going strong, not tired just yet. I got enough energy in me to make it through the show. So we are good to go. And I also have my coffee. So yeah, let's fucking do this thing. All right. On to you.
What's up, Nobes?
Buddy.
Nobes for sure.
Yeah. Just drinking some Game Journo tears for no apparent reason.
I'll toast
but anyway,
that.
Indeed.
Yep. I've been okay. So it looks like that tomorrow, because the numbers are still coming in through YouTube's thing, that tomorrow I should be able to apply for monetization. So that's gonna be a fun day.
You know what? We both have that news, actually. I actually managed to get to 100 followers on Rumble yesterday without ever putting out one video.
I think I have 9 followers to go, I think. But yeah, so really excited for that. Since it's going to take another day or two, then I'm going to see if I can cram 3 videos in me today. along with doing a few other things.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. This is sounding really gay.
In you? All right.
Yeah.
I mean, normally I just watch them myself, but to each their own. However you absorb information, you know.
God damn it.
Is an option, I suppose.
Right.
God, everyone calls me a Smash JT clone, and then I like say like shit.
Dumb shit.
That'll be clipped.
Dude, you are never going to upstage what Smash JT got paid to do
God.
today.
Yeah,
God.
that was some stuff last night. Yeah.
I have a clip of it.
Yes, you do.
Finish your intro while I dig it out.
Yeah. So anyway, I am planning a few videos in celebration, and either the day of monetization or the day after, I will do a Q&A live stream, and hopefully we can have some fun with that. I don't have a specific time or date, but hopefully we can make that happen.
Soonish.
Yeah.
Soon-ish is better than never. I'm just trying to figure out a way I can fucking open this damn thing. I hate the way that Twitter videos won't ever let you actually just play them in full screen. For me anyway, it won't work. I'll find an alternative in a minute. But welcome back, of course, nobody.
Thank you.
I've got a great idea. Why not just do
Now the question
this?
is, did he get enough rest to make it through today's show, or will he fall asleep on the stream again?
Or unplug my computer.
Or unplug your computer, yes.
As long as you don't do this, all will be well.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll be fine.
No!
He sounds constipated.
He's pushing the turn over there, yeah.
What was that?
I might need you to send this to me.
Much you can do with that video. I don't even know. The ideas are still coming. They're still formulating.
Right.
Oh no, it's terrible. It does sound like reverse pooping though, you know. So that's a thing.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
He's pooping on Chair JT.
Yeah, poor Chair JT has to put up with so much. Never knew he had a dildo mounted to it.
Right.
But there you go.
So
as long as you don't,
rhino horn.
as long as you don't ever do that on a stream, under any circumstances, I think you'll be all right. He really does bring these things upon himself. He's a good guy, and I respect him massively. And he's a friend, of course, one of my better friends that I have on the internet at this point. But dude, what the fuck were you doing? What were you thinking? What were you thinking?
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. This is sounding really gay.
I don't think he was thinking. He did get a hundo though. He did get a hundo.
He did get a hundo, and he was a slosh JT. So
yeah,
I
he
guess
was
you can-
smashed JT last night.
Smashed JT was the other one. Yeah,
Oh,
you could
yeah.
blame it on the liquor if you want. A lot of ladies are used to doing that, so you know it is what it is, I suppose. But at this point, damn, don't do that ever on a stream.
Yeah.
And there we go. Now, of course, we got lots to talk about. We got some Doctor Who we got to talk about as well. Quick shout out to he who cannot be with us anymore because of bullshit. And
I want to say this to the
YouTube
audience. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of
grifting,
I have never profited from
racism.
I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of
racism,
I have never obstructed.
Spear chuckers.
And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of
racism,
that I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not they're
grifter, racist.
Well, I'm not a
spear chucker.
At some point in time, I would like you to perhaps maybe put together a Sarah McLachlan kind of tribute in the
Like
arms
a-
of the or something
In memoriam.
dearly departed in memoriam kind of thing. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. We've got plenty to work with. But in the meantime, spears out for Athe. And that's all I can say about that for now. And in the same vein, Sardox Spamfish is here for £2 and says weapons of ass destruction. Lol.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. This is sounding really gay.
I was gonna have to take that clip away from me. I'm getting too used to hitting it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little bit there, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So we have a lot to talk about. We've got a little bit of Doctor Who stuff to talk about. It's not a great deal, but we like to keep up with it, and it's probably not enough to dedicate an episode of Who TF Cares to. But the ratings are in, of course, we know for the last episode, but we also got the consolidated number for last week. This is the episode, of course, the Interstellar song contest that was sandwiched in between the FA Cup final, which for you Americans is one of the biggest football matches of the year. Like the FA Cup is a knockout tournament that almost anyone can enter, whereas the Premiership is a league that
for us
gets
to
divided.
be probably like the Pro Bowl.
I guess I'm not really sure, but we have two, arguably three major tournaments in the UK for football, and the league is the league, and the FA Cup is knockout. This was the final of the FA Cup. Basically, if you get both of them and then go on and win in Europe, you've done the treble, and that's considered the big three. So that's that. So the point is, it's something that people take time out of their lives and go out to watch, even if it's not their team anymore. They've been knocked out. They want to cheer for the team that beats the team that knocked them out, or they want to cheer for the team that beat them. All that stuff. Either way, it means 8 to 10 pints down your local boozer. And after that, the TV is usually left on, resulting in Doctor Who getting a huge spike in ratings from people just having it on in pubs, which happened last year as well with the episode 73 Yards, which happened at the same time. The last year was a little later in the year, so it was mid-season when the FA Cup came on rather than towards the back of the series like it is this year. And so that's why you've got 1 million extra people watching. And of course, the Eurovision Song Contest, which is on right afterwards. So people tuned in for that and probably caught 10, 15 minutes of Doctor Who, which is enough to by Bob standards to count as a rating. So there you go. Interestingly, the +7s, which is repeats on TV, plus iPlayer over 7 days on any device, only amounted to what? 1.18 million.
Yeah.
So that is a dismal drop off from the usual average of 1.5 million to get us to a consolidated number that is the best that this series has had. I think I'm not off the top of my head. I can't remember, but certainly this season, definitely the best and highest number that we've seen. And people are going to try and say, oh, Doctor Who is saved. The shield tubers are going to come out. We all know who. Your Tharans, your Mr. Retarduses, all these people. They're like, oh, Doctor Who is fine. They're not going to cancel it. They're going to keep going and make bad guys out of straw and string and staples like they did in the 1970s, and it's going to look shit. But the BBC will remain dignified in doing that. Do we agree? You've lost your budget. And if they continue at this point, they are going to have to produce a noticeably cheaper looking Doctor Who.
Right. When your current ratings are lower than the ratings that got the show canceled the first time.
Yeah.
And there was less people on the planet.
This is the first time in the modern Shutigawa era, I think, that they've actually beaten, or certainly in this series anyway, that they've actually beaten the worst rated episode of Classic Who.
Right.
And that is largely because of this number, not at all to do with dedicated people watching.
Right. Because if you look at those consolidated numbers, it's generally the same rough amount. So it's like the exact same people that just can't watch the show live, that just watch it, however, during the week later on. And that hasn't really shifted. So, except for kind of has trended down.
I mean, we had 1.57 million there. We got 1.42 million there. Fucking hell. I can't think.
1.5 again.
1.7, 1.5, 1.4, 1.5, 1.4. And then this time we got 1.18.
Yeah.
Dismal.
So not so good.
Nah, not good at all. So if you were in charge, let's just say at the BBC, we know that Bad Wolf has announced that they're doing new projects. So they're not going to be working on Doctor Who for a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that Russell T Davies has compared it to Robin Hood, as in
we be robbing.
I mean, what he was trying to do there was basically say Doctor Who is forever now, and it will never stop, and it will always come back. But the crucial detail in that comparison is there may be decades in between iterations, and that is the crucial part. So he's saying that. That's not good. Ncuti Gatwa has not said a word since he allegedly moved to Hollywood a year ago.
Yeah.
Right after appearing at I think he came back for London Comic Con. And I said at the time when he was doing the London Comic Con, remember the prices were astronomical for a picture with him. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I said, if anybody wants to like spend £180 or whatever it was to go and get within spitting distance of him, do it and film it. And bring it to me. But no one did, because no one cared enough, even for the lols, to go see Ncuti Gatwa.
Historically, isn't that where people go after they stop?
That's what I said. Yeah. It's a thing that the Doctor actors do when they're done. So he did that before Series 2 aired.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So if you are the showrunner or the head of programming or the liaison, whatever, at the BBC, and you are trying to decide which way is the graceful way out of this situation, do you choose to shelve it and let your predecessor, your what's the opposite of a predecessor? I can't think. The person who takes over your job next, deal with it. Kick the can down the road. Let the next person come and deal with
protege.
it. Yeah, whatever. Your replacement eventually. Let them deal with it and wash your hands of it and get away, or do you stubbornly and doggedly continue to try and make this show with less budget than it's had since the 1970s?
Right, when money was actually worth something.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more technology available for that now, but yeah, money was better back then. So which do you choose?
I think the wise thing would be to, probably put it in mothballs for a good while, but that's not what we're hearing. But
what do you think, nobody?
Well, it's kind of that same conundrum. I mean, it's drastically different, but I mean, you've heard the rumblings of fans like telling Marvel Studios, hey, you know what? You need to take a hiatus and you need to take a really good look at yourselves, reset, and remember who you are. Simba.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though, is Disney knows who they are, and who they are is a weird kind of...
been saying it about Star Wars, too, by the way.
Yep.
For years.
Yep. They're into weird dark symbology and all this kind of strange stuff that they put into everything, and everything ends up being a multiverse because...
Oh, God. Fucking save me from multiverses, for Christ's sakes. So you agree then basically the best thing they can do, and I agree of course as well, is finally someone should fucking listen to the fans who are overwhelmingly telling them, let it die, let it die, let it die, let it die. If in 20 years or something then someone comes along and actually has a good idea, once all this woke bullshit is hopefully blown over and we haven't been totally censored off the face of the internet forever and ever and ever, which we'll get to, then maybe you want to bring it back and it's actually worth something again, then maybe. But realistic, if it never comes back, that would be better at this point.
Best thing they could possibly do, I think, at this point is don't touch it for 5 years at least, and then maybe at that point in time start to write a narrative about like being Doctor Who as a video game experience, going through the various regenerations and this and that, whatnot, and then just have it be that. But yeah, just stop doing the show. It's done.
If only they'll learn. If only Disney, the BBC, and all these studios would learn that the fans have will. But
indeed.
But at the end of the day, I know, I get it. But
I'm here all week. I'm here all week.
Good news.
Yeah.
And so yeah, at the end of the day, I guess the reality here is it needs to die. It needs to be let go away. This is what hashtag RIP Doctor Who is about. This is what hashtag RIP Star Wars has been about, by the way, for years as well. It's not you're fucked, ha ha ha, we're trolling. It's please, for the love of God, show some respect and just let this thing die with a little dignity before I mean, it's too late for that now anyway. Doctor Who has no dignity. It's been gone for 5 years. But at least just let it stop, please, so that people can stop feeling like something they loved is being made a mockery of any further. That's it. So there we go. Anyway, we'll move on. But before we do, James Up is here for $20. Fucking hell, need some Doban Hunkeros for that.
I got this new anime plot. Basically, there's this high school girl, except she's got huge boobs. I mean, some serious hunkers. A real setup of donkers. Packing some Doban Hunkeros. Massive da Hunka Bankaloos. Big old Tanahangara Cougars. What happens next? Transfer student shows up one day with even bigger Bankhanaga Hoogs. Humongous Hungalamga no Logangas.
Love that.
And
yeah, one more.
Doban Hunkeros, yeah, I know, I just saw that, yeah. James Up 420 then says, I've been busy flaming people all week. I assume in the hetero way, not in the other way. So yeah, he's been a busy boy this week. James Up. He's kind of getting to be a reputational he's building a reputation for himself kind of as like a backbone of a lot of our channels. And and it's very helpful and much appreciated. A lot of the time he does the digging we don't have time for. So it's, again, just hugely appreciated. And flame on, man. Kill him. I don't care. Not literally, allegedly, not physically.
Yeah.
You know what
In
I'm
Minecraft.
saying. Cook these fools. There
Yeah.
you go. In Minecraft, yes. Thank you. I think Goldie always says that when I tee off on someone in our like Doctor Who chat. I'll go, I'm gonna fucking rip the head off this motherfucker. They go in Minecraft.
Yes.
So yeah. And again, thank you very much, James Up. Appreciate you. Fanny's here for 500 Swedish krona, which is, I'm pretty sure, around about $50. So holy crap, Pink Boy. There you go. Belinda couldn't remember how long she was in labor, and that made her question something was wrong with her perfect nuclear family life. What does RTD think women keep count looking at the clock on the wall while pushing out a baby? Out.
I think
And
it's
that is a good
because
point.
she's not the actual mother of said baby.
I mean, it's that,
Yeah.
or the baby was positioned to be their child and they were given the fake memories or something. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, it's meant to be this conspicuous, life-shattering moment, but quite right too. Most women have a blurry as fuck memory of actually giving birth to their children because it's blindingly painful and takes sometimes 12 hours, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not the optimal thing to ask someone for like a play-by-play of. So even just a few years later, they're probably passing out half the time from pain and the epidural. So yeah, good point. And well, frankly, that has done quite a lot of good for my bar, which is almost already all completely full. I think I got to get this off the screen. Yeah, look at that. Good God. Well,
Nice.
we've passed the halfway point, so you know what that means. It's good old John Boy's favorite time of the week.
Indeed. With us.
Come here, baby. Let me show something good.
know, you set me up with all those Asian women. What do you expect me to do?
The screen was even shaking at the time. What the hell, man? But yeah, thank you very much. Why are we still on side view? That's weird. I don't know what happened. Anyway, yeah, thank you very, very much to Fanny for that. Appreciate you. And we are that much closer already to filling up the bar and hearing some money. But in the meantime, that's enough, Doctor Who. That's about all we can squeeze out of this dying, cancer-ridden potato. And whoops, hang on, we're now getting some more coming in as well. So all right, fine, I'll pull a Smash GT and just keep reading super chats until they stop. But no, that's fine. Furious Dan for $2 says, good morning, guys, and Will, how's your dad doing? He's all right, mostly, but very demanding. And when you're the only able-bodied, of age, adult who can work and can drive, and you've got a lot of semi-capable people surrounding you, yeah, my time is very limited, so I don't have all the time in the world to answer every single time he needs me. But whenever I do go in and check, he seems to be stable. So thanks for the concern. Appreciate it. Incidentally, guys, of course, there is a link in the pinned comment if you want. No pressure, but we are trying to raise a bit of money to get my dad the surgery and rehab or whatever he would need to be able to walk again, if that's at all possible, and at least just try and give him a bit more comfort in his life. So thank you for the people who have donated so far. Very much. It's been ridiculous compared to what I was expecting. So appreciate you all. And thanks again, Dan, for concerning. Yeah.
Dan's a good dude.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But my time is limited and he needs to learn a bit of patience. Anyway, Raging D-Head is here for $5. Man, we are really close now. Says, will I request you recreate the Last of Us Bella Ramsey scene? I'm gonna be a dad. What, you want me to star in that, or just like superimpose my face over hers or something? Can I maybe if I shave off my beard and completely shave my head, and then that would work, because then it would make my face look 10 times the size that it is, and then like moon face, and then maybe I'll start to look a little bit like Bella Ramsey. Not that it's fair to pick on her for her looks, but boy, what a terrible casting, and boy, what a cringe fucking line. So yeah, maybe I could do that. We'll see. We'll see. But thank you for the $5. Okay. We have got a lot to unpack from gaming, and it's kind of rough where to start. Should we dig in with, we should start light, well, not light, but with the smaller story, and
yeah. So the last thing take the longest. So
the last thing that could take us all night, so I have no idea. But effectively, the first thing that went wrong, or the most recent thing that publicly went wrong, was when Camelot, who many people will know, he's connected to several of our channels and appeared on a few of our channels here and there, and also part of the Fellowship and stuff like that, or connected to them. Some people like him, some people don't like him. I personally have no problem or issue with him whatsoever. He's fine.
And he's soon to be a video game character. He's going to be in NASCAR's, in the next NASCAR game.
That's fucking cool, man. He got kicked out of the Game and Geek Expo, unceremoniously dumped from him. And this is, now he points out here that there are people who bought tickets to go and meet him, to do a meet and greet with him. And he got kicked from the event. One of the vendors and photographers from the event said he is a nazi. And unfortunately, if you get called a nazi, with or without any evidence to back it up, that's pretty much enough for you to get cancelled, as plenty of other people have found out. If you don't know who Camelot is, he's basically one of us. But much bigger. He's I can't think how big his channel is, but it's fairly large at this point. A few 100,000, I think.
I would imagine at this point, because he's got NASCAR fans now too.
Yeah. So he certainly is a big deal.
He's multi-talented.
Oh, he's a very good dude, and he's in all lots. He's on lots of different spheres. He's in the gaming thing. He's in Gamergate. He's also kind of gets involved in a little bit of YouTube drama from time to time, which I would advise against, but
yeah,
we all do. So kind of no way around it. So this is the account that messaged him from Rally Retro Games or whatever. Hi, Cody. Says, thank you again for your interest in being a part of Gaming Geek Expo. We appreciate the time and effort you've put into your content and the support you've shown toward our event. And then we get the corporate bullshit, which I guess you can translate as usual, John, if you want.
Sure.
It says, after careful consideration, we made the decision to move forward without your involvement in this year's show. Translation.
Well, you see,
after no consideration whatsoever,
right,
just taking someone's blind opinion. Go on.
Right. Yeah. Well, you see, you're just not what we want to be connected to because you're a bigot.
That's it. That's basically it. Yeah. So after hearing the ad hoc opinions of people near us, we decided that we're going to boot you. You bigot. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's basically
the girl
it.
with a transgender flag for hair decided that you shouldn't be here, and we have to look at her because she's an event, director. So
Yeah. It says, while we truly appreciate your recent efforts, including the removal of one of the flagged videos, additional content has since surfaced that has raised continued concerns from our community, guests, and sponsors.
No amount of cutting will ever be enough. We just really don't want you here.
You cuck, you bigot,
it would have been better if they lied.
I know, right? That's like, I mean, they are lying. They do not appreciate his efforts whatsoever. If they did, they would actually have done some careful consideration and opted to allow him to attend and be part of it, because it is, it's
legitimately going to be in a video game.
Yeah, I mean, he's big time. He's a known entity. People want to go see him.
Yeah.
It's
how many
it's weird
NASCAR
that they did
people
this.
are also live stream gamer YouTube dudes? Like,
right. This seems like a pretty unique character to try to, replace.
Fuck with.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can barley see, John.
Yes.
Which is an ironic comment from DramaticaLaur there. Anyway, interesting. So effectively they've decided you're not welcome. Somebody has said that you are a nazi or a Yahtzee or whatever you want me to say it as, and you're out, buddy. And we don't give a shit what you do to try to toe the line in our direction, which you never should have done in the first place, because it just shows weakness and just allows us to galvanize ourselves and cut your head off that quicker. You're out, bud. Fuck you. See you later, bigot. Continues. It says, unfortunately, we've already experienced the loss of a sponsor and several other guest participants due to this situation. So they're blaming that on him.
Yeah.
Okay. And it is beginning to negatively affect the overall perception and inclusivity of our event. I hate that fucking word. I really hate the word inclusivity now. Like, even unironically, I hate it. I hate diversity as well now. Like, when I hear someone using the term in its correct manifestation, I am like not triggered. That's not a word I'd ever like to use either. But I kind of flinch mentally. My brain does a flinch when I hear the word diversity now, or inclusivity.
Yeah.
Because of the connotation that we've had to live with all this fucking bullshit for so long.
Yes. Yeah, we were trying to prevent anyone like you from showing up to this event, and so we have to, under just the idea that you might be affiliated with it. Well, we have to be safer than sorry, so we're just going to cut you off right now.
Exactly. Yes, there's actually nothing inclusive about DEI.
Yeah,
as we've pointed out before, the actual meaning of it basically is division exclusion, and isolation.
Yep. Equity is vengeance.
Yeah. Equity has nothing to do with equality.
No.
Nope.
That's why it's not the word equality, because otherwise you could just use equality. But
yeah. And so effectively by excluding someone, they think that they're attracting more people to the event, which of course, I don't know if you've got a link to any of these things happening, John, but a lot of people have since come out and said that they are refusing to attend this Game Little Expo because of this. So they are actually losing ticket sales and sponsorships and other high profile entertainers who would have joined because they have treated him this way.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, he does seem like he seems like one of the crown jewels for the event. Because like I said, you're talking about somebody who checks how many of, I hate this term too much, like
I know,
checks all these various boxes of like, oh, so for our YouTube streamer community and things like that, he does that. Oh, he's also like, you know, because it's I believe it's down in Raleigh where this thing is going to be, or down in the south roughly. I could be wrong on the location, but he that's like NASCAR country, so he also fills in like, you know, that kind of niche. And you know, he's actually now going to legitimately be in a video game about said thing. So I mean,
I would say he intersects with a lot of different audiences rather than say checks boxes.
Sure.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's just so you can avoid saying that.
Sure. No, much appreciated.
Yeah, the I don't know, the way I look at it, because a lot of sponsors like don't know who like all the guests are. So when I look at this letter and they go, sponsors are pulling out. By the way, they weren't. They probably had no. They probably had no clue who he was, and these people lied out of their fucking teeth because of some community manager or event planner with fucking blue hair who completely misconstrued something that he said, or took major offense of a nothing burger, a 5th grade joke that like probably one of us said, probably like somewhere in middle school. That like it's one of the most egregious things, and they have not learned that cancel culture does not work. But you know what works? Boycotts do.
Yeah,
they really do. They have worked for us, for the terrible, evil. What do they call us? Alt-right. I hate that term because I don't know what it means. I've never understood what that means. I think it just means you like Trump.
Yeah.
I think that's all it is.
Because that's when it came about, was 2016 was when that first started.
During the Tea Party movement.
Okay, so you're a Tea Party guy. Right. Okay. Yeah, I guess it still means that. It's like reactionary as well. I hate that being called that, because the reality is that the most extreme reactionary behavior comes from them. And of course, the most ridiculous alt politics comes from them. And the exclusion and the isolation and the canceling and the treating of people like shit, it all comes from the left. All of it. Every last bit of it. The fascism comes from the left. Every single thing. And
for as much as they talk about diversity, they sure do want everybody to have the same talking points, same thoughts, the same interests, the same kind of just allegiances and temperaments. I mean,
exactly. They go so far as to refer to us as an echo chamber.
Right.
but a quick glance at their behavior once again will prove that's not the case. I mean, you look at like what was just done on Doctor Who with the fake universe of nightmare realm of happy married families.
Yes, the utopian dystopia.
Yeah. The dystopian reality of people being able to afford their own homes, get high-paying jobs, and afford to raise children with their wives.
How dare they? How dare they?
Well, it's because it's the left, isn't it? Sorry, go on, man.
I was just trying to say, how dare they?
Yeah. I mean, they shit on, what do they shit on? What have they attributed to white supremacy so far? Hard work, punctuality, exercise, education. So basically knowing stuff, doing stuff, and having ambition.
Punctuality is also bigoted.
Yes, punctuality is tinged with whiteness, apparently. So, what are the opposites of this? Being fat, lazy, and stupid. So that's what they want you to be.
Yeah, and not keeping appointments.
Yeah, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Fat, incompetent, uneducated, lazy, unambitious, unhealthy, stupid, lazy, gormless pigs. Ripe for pumping sludge into, in other words, consumers.
Yes.
People who can do nothing but consume.
Right. Well, how dare you actually think about any of these things? You think that you're supposed to do anything more than just actually, you're supposed to be a vassal for the corporation, or
And this
the,
is one of the reasons.
authority.
Yep. This is why I reject the term, by the way, consumer entirely, because to me it is effectively a pig.
Yep.
In a pen, rolling in their own shit, eating anything out of a trough.
Getting fattened up till it gets slaughtered itself.
Yep. That's what a consumer is. So I prefer the term customer, where you have some agency, some decision making based on information that is
and you're the one
to
who's
obtain and discern reality from.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be serving you in service to you, actually
you
trying
work
to
for me.
earn your dollar rather than just having this blind expectation that they're, somehow entitled to your money.
Exactly. But the problem, of course, is that stakeholder capitalism, read communism, which is, of course, the Schwab model of business all the way from Davos, is contingent on people having no agency or very little ability to discern reality from fiction and make informed decisions and choices.
Right.
Because as soon as a company has decided to put their stakeholders, which is their friends, their neighbors, their social media supporters, and their employees above the customer and the almighty dollar, you no longer have capitalism in any way, shape, or form. And anyone who values their money more than a mediocre product can tell them to go fuck themselves, and the whole system collapses. So they need you to be fat, lazy, stupid, unintelligent, unambitious, bloated, lazy, couch potato pigs, consumers.
Yep.
And that's why I hate the term.
Did I send you that article about the voice actress from Veilguard this week as well?
No. Oh, you did send me that, but I didn't get time to look at it. Was it relevant?
To a degree, because she was basically saying that we and our ilk are also responsible, you see, for the downfall of Veilguard. And it's only because we cheered on the idea that this thing was going to fail that was the reason that it failed. It wasn't that it just actually wasn't worth a shit and was able to rise above our supposed rhetoric. Because then they went to say, well, and then when there is a hit like Assassin's Creed, yes, they called Assassin's Creed Shadows a hit.
That's a complete lie.
Right. And so I read that, I was like, okay.
I mean, we monitored and watched all of that from months before till months after. That thing was a fucking implosion.
Yeah. So it's definitely just this whole thing where it's like, they're trying to put that on top of us too, where it's like, we're just cheering on the idea that the games need to be destroyed before they ever get a chance. Yeah, it's fucking retarded.
This is coping and seething of the highest order, I think. I haven't read it, obviously, because I never got time to. It says people wanted to see BioWare fail. Quote, it's an idiotic... Whoa! What the hell? Oh, I got switched to fucking Southeast Asian version of IGN. It's an idiotic stance to take, which is an ironic thing to say, because you could actually say that and be accurate in response to the headline rather than to back it up.
Right.
Yeah. This is an idiotic stance to take, because nobody wanted BioWare to fail.
Yeah.
People wanted BioWare to make good games, and BioWare, as it was, has ceased to exist.
Yeah.
By the way, Ryan says, have a great show. And thank you, Ryan.
Indeed.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, you have a wonderful day, and I hope you have fun making new videos. Everybody should go check those out on Rumble.
Yep.
Anyway, so the actor who played the female Inquisitor in both Dragon Age Inquisition and Dragon Age Veilguard told IGN that she was absolutely devastated to see BioWare's latest game fail from a larger audience despite mostly positive review scores from critics. And so, yeah, it's once again, it's just Veilguard, I thought, was a really strong game.
Yeah.
It was BioWare being more BioWare. No, BioWare made good games.
On what metric is she talking about? Like, explain the metric.
People were attacking the game before it was released. Well, yeah, because it was woke shit, and nobody
it was pretty
wants
obvious.
that.
It was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, it was clear from day dot that what the game was going to be, and we
I
had
don't
this
think that we
same.
were attacking. I think we were just expressing our perspective on what was being put out in front of us to actually look at. And yeah, it did not find favor with an audience. And as customers, we have the right to go and tell you, yeah, no, this is not going to fly. I'm not going to buy this shit.
Yeah, we were criticizing it. We were absolutely criticizing it. If you choose to label that as attacking someone, and I'm guilty of that sometimes myself as well, because it's internet jargon, and I'm a person on the internet. Yeah, I mean, if you want to call it attacking, fine. We were attacking it then. All right, whatever. But really, we were more trying to preserve what BioWare and Dragon Age are supposed to be, and that this thing had attacked that identity and eroded it and replaced it. And it's the argument we had when we were laughing at the Jaffe's lol cope about trying to defend Veilguard before he had Alyssa on and completely destroyed himself, and before he got fired from lolcow by Keemstar for talking about his wife's vagina, because just David Jaffe, literally every single move this man makes is a rake to the face. It's unbelievable to watch. But he tried to point out that, what was his argument again? It was that if you don't want to have the trans stuff in Veilguard, you can opt out of being trans.
But you can't opt out of having Tosh there with you the entire fucking time. And you're not even the main character. Yeah, you're not even the main character of the story. Tosh is, basically. And you're just walking around next to this trans story that's playing out.
Iconic trans character, yeah.
Right.
Who is there just to talk about pronouns and make people feel bad for calling her a she, and do baths and stuff. Now, of course, Sideshow Jaffe, that's a good one. As he could be known, he tried to equate rejecting that to saying that if there's a black character in the game, that you want all black people removed from the game. And there's a difference here, you see, because black characters in the Dragon Age universe have long since been established as part of that universe.
Yeah.
It's not like actual medieval history in like Europe or whatever, where there were very few black people. That you can do whatever you want. There's always been choices of coloration and stuff like that in BioWare games, of course. Yeah. The other thing is to remember is that black people are naturally occurring.
Yeah.
Nature creates black people, just like it creates white people, men and women.
Transing centers, however, are not. They're buildings. And they shouldn't exist in a fantasy realm.
Exactly. If go on.
And the thing is, like, if you're gonna take that risk, it better not be based on ideology. You better have a fucking amazing story and character that backs up that decision, and they did not. Tosh wasn't like, take out the trans part. Like, Tosh was just an annoying little cunt.
That's all Tosh was, just literally a trans icon. That's it. Just literally an avatar of trans ideology. So yeah, and again, if you tried to opt out of it in the game, if you chose not to be trans yourself, which most people probably did, unless you were playing for laughs like Hypno with McDuggans, then you'd still have to sit through a story that constantly reminds you at all times about trans crap and trans this and trans that in a game made by a tranoid. So again, we are not, as customers, we are 100% within our rights to turn around and say, trans, not having it.
Be like a company that like makes brownies, actively telling you that they're putting shit in the recipe, and then getting all up in arms with people like, I'm not going to eat shit.
But why won't you eat shit, John? You should like the shit. The shit tastes good. No, you need to like the shit.
The shit is natural.
Right.
It's meant to be in there. It's traditional to have shit in brownies.
Right.
It was always
made that way.
It was vegan sourced and everything, I'm sure.
Yeah. Don't you realize you've always eaten shit in your brownies? There's always been shit in brownies. It was always there. Couldn't you taste it? Like, did you never look at the back of the pack and see
color? Come on, might as well just all be shit. Yeah.
Grade A bullshit in the middle of your brownie? Yeah, no. Of
Nice
course
and
not.
brown and everything. You might even have some chocolate chips if you give it a try.
Yeah, and then we can move on to, by the way, and we can move on to the next stage after that, where they realize they're not convincing anyone. So they admit, yes, okay, fine. We changed the recipe to include a little bit more shit, just a little bit more shit, only 60% shit. Right. And frankly, you should be thanking us because it's good for you. That's right. You Luddites, you peasants, you chocoholics, eat shit. It's good for you. And then when they get kicked out and no one buys it and the business shuts down, they go somewhere else and try and push shit in that instead.
Right.
You wouldn't buy our shit for $70? Why?
Yeah, exactly. And then they put the price up too. Yeah, premium grade A tranny shit. Enjoy, you bigots.
With sprinkles.
They wonder why we don't like them. Why they wonder why we criticize them.
Right?
These guys are trying to feed me shit. I don't want to buy shit. Shit's bad.
Yeah.
But, I'm not interested in paying money for shit.
Yeah, that's why I flush it down the toilet whenever I have to deal with it, right?
Yeah, do you have any idea how much shit I've thrown away in my life? How much shit I've flushed down the toilet?
Guys, don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, if you don't date a shit person, you're a shitophobic,
How long are we gonna do this bit?
I don't know, it could go on forever. We'll carry on. So to get back to the point anyway, Camel cast off, by the way, which I think is a brilliant name. So Camelot got himself booted basically from Game and Geek, which is a Rally Retro Gamers thing, and the result has been a lot of people turning around. There's an example here. One person here, Vux, has decided to say he was looking forward to announcing a meetup at Rally this convention, but after they banned a fellow creator for exercising free speech, I can't support it. I won't be part of something that promotes cancel culture and turns a gaming event into a political stage. Censorship needs to stop. And fucking hell, somebody with a sign. Look. Oof. So there you go.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's a very considerate and sober take, and in no way like inflammatory. I mean, but gets right to the point of the whole matter.
Yeah. I mean, it's happening, and it's not the only one, by the way. It's the only one I was able to find quickly at short notice. But there are a bunch of posts like this where people are, oh my god, oh yeah, I forgot about that too. When you actually look at the Geek and Gamer Expo, Gamer and Geek or whatever it is Expo, on their website, I'll try and pull it up. The people responsible for it are exactly who you think they are.
Yeah.
And there does seem to be a bit of a connection with some of Toilet Rice's favorite people, the furries. So yeah, dodge the bullet might be an accurate thing to say there. It might. But I mean, obviously, this is horseshit. It shouldn't happen. In all seriousness, like, joking aside, it's a disgusting abuse of influence, power, whatever. I mean, okay, fine, it's their show. They can do it if they want. But he could turn around and say, well, fuck you, then I'll have my own gaming expo with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the expo.
Yeah.
And, well, no, keep the expo. But you get what I'm saying. But there you go. Anyway, I'm trying to find the bit that tells you who the people are on the website.
Oh, with the I know.
You'll notice if you go. Yeah, I'm trying to find their page on the website. But the first thing you'll notice on the website, by the way, is the colors.
Yep. They look exactly like the who had the problem.
Yeah, it looks just like that game we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other games that have the same problem. Are you familiar with this? Nobody? The color thing?
Oh, bisexual colors.
Yeah, basically, you're going to have a lot of pink, purple, and pastel blue turquoise. In other words, I don't know where the purple came from, but it's been widely accepted in progressive circles. But the turquoise and pink, that's trans. That's a trans flag.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I mean, to play devil's advocate, one can look at this and be like, maybe they're going for a retro 80s style thing, but knowing these people, they infiltrate everything and try to make it their own. So don't put it past them to
as a guy who grew up in the 1980s, I don't remember these colors back then being all that prominent. The only thing that had these colors was Decepticons, and even that was just on their logo for the most part.
Yeah, I don't even remember Van Halen having like these colors ever.
Yeah,
it's a weird one. Anyway, I can't find the fucking page, but it doesn't matter anyway. There's
I think they got rid of the staff page.
Oh, that's right. They did. Yeah. Sorry. They did. They got rid of it. Just like a lot of other things have been got rid of at the moment. But anyway, fuck the Gaming Geek Expo 2025. If you were considering going, do not go. Just give your money to your favorite YouTuber instead.
Indeed.
And there we go. But speaking of getting rid of shit and moving on to another topic, we can get to the buried corruption and conspiracy theory of Sweet Baby Inc.'s funding, care of Smash JT. But before that, James Up for $5 says, just an FYI, alt-right is like JDA, but not fake it, is extremism, white supremacist, and militant. Oh, right, but not fake. It is extremism, white supremacist, and militant. It is a lie they tell to justify loving murderers. Oh, I see.
Damn.
So, in essence, the alt-right actually are the people that they say they are, and just by calling us that lumps us in with them. It's much the same as what Mercante and the dickhead friends do when they'll go, I got sent a death threat by somebody, and it's like somebody that none of us have ever heard of, and all of us are regularly saying we do not condone this kind of behavior, and you shouldn't do that. It's a crappy thing to do. We get them as well, and I hate it. It's not nice. Don't do that.
Right.
But we say your arguments are flawed. Your logic is erroneous and ludicrously so, and your entire cause is based in an unreality.
Right.
So stop.
Well, I think it's
making a fool of yourself, and that apparently is tantamount to us dog whistling for people to send, R&D threats.
Yeah. Well, see, it's because I think it's because they come from such a radical perspective and viewpoint, but they see themselves as actually being the ones that are balanced and center. So, clearly, anything that is, not that has to be this all other extreme, because they're the thing that's centered in reality in their mind. But it's like, no, you're crazy fuck jobs over here, and there's crazy fuck jobs over here, and then there's all the rest of us that are kind of in the middle going, look at all these crazy fuck jobs that I'm surrounded by.
Yep. I mean, the idea that we don't get all this crap as well is completely ludicrous. Like, if not, we get more. What's the worst thing that happens to you? You get an anonymous message request from someone trying to tell you that you should KYS, and then what do we get instead? We get what happened to Ryan again?
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
Income gone, ability to support his father and whatever gone. Career trajectory, years of hard work up in smoke.
Yep.
That's considerably worse than a few mean words.
Right. Oh, but I had to feel bad for 10 minutes before I went and drowned my sorrows in a fucking latte, and then pissed and moaned on fucking Reddit for 2 hours.
Blue Sky
or on
Vanilla
Blue
Sky.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's so weird seeing those posts that she makes, because I'm just like, then why didn't you go to the police so that they can track down the IP address and get them
right.
arrested?
I know, yeah.
But no, in her mind, we're the problem. Like,
It's all
no.
performative, and it's all about conflation. It's all about building a straw man, an illusory enemy that you can take down to achieve a nefarious end, and we'll get to that very soon. But before that, thank you very much, James Up.
Indeed, much appreciated.
Really sure just took us over the bar being filled. But before I'll play the thing, DramaticaLaur also here for Australian $2, and thank you very much too. Says Alyssa is a cuddle cow, and we all know what that actually means. It's a see you next Tuesday. My words, good night all. I like that. I like that. I've got to remember to use that when I want to call someone what I want to call them, and I also want to stay monetized. So that's a good one. Cuddle cow, kind of funny. Anyway, that would be the bar being filled. And if you are not familiar, there is the sound of a disco beat coming your way right about now.
Print money, cash, money, wealth, capitalism, raise a bunch of money, more money, heaps and heaps of money, print money, cash, money, wealth, capitalism, raise a bunch of money, super chat money.
They're salty as the sea, calling us no-code names. SJW screaming, but it's money they blame. Burning with envy, they're falling flat. They can't handle the sound of a super chat.
Yeah, baby. Thank
Always
you
banger.
very much, everybody. Appreciate you all for that, you absolute legends. Lovely, lovely day. All right, and we can move on. Although, actually, I'm the only one not wearing sunglasses, so there we go. And it's nicer on the eyes. Sweet Baby Inc. Sweet Baby Inc. got exposed the other day. Now, you know it, I know it, everyone in the chat knows it. Sweet Baby Inc. was the beginning of Gamergate 2. It happened in about February, March last year with the Suicide Squad, killed the Justice League, stupidly long title, and they killed off the Kevin Conroy voiced Batman from the Arkham series, which was not only a massive note of disrespect to a deceased legendary actor, but also a character that many people absolutely adore. And, well, it's never really ended for some people, and good, frankly. That is a great thing. Because, especially for Gothic Therapy, that obviously is master of the TDS and writing Raven, his wife, and they host Gothic Therapy together. They have stuck at this. A lot of us have sort of fallen back a little bit. They buried themselves. They deleted their social media. Sweet Baby Inc. You know, they've almost been in hiding, despite all the things trying to tell you that they're still making games and they're still employed by Sony. You know, bollocks. It's absolute not true whatsoever, because they are cancer that costs people millions of dollars to employ and tens of millions of dollars in lost revenue when the games they allow them to fuck with flop spectacularly. They are a death sentence for a new studio and a cancer sentence for an established one. Do not work with Sweet Baby Inc. ever.
Yes.
And now, thankfully, while the rest of us basically just sort of carried on keeping a passive eye on them to see what they do, well, Master of the TDS and his wife have decided that they are never going to let up on Sweet Baby Inc. They're going to continue to dig and dig and dig, because a lot of things don't make sense, especially after Savvy was able to prove pretty much conclusively that they all came from Ubisoft.
Yep. And a year ago, when I did my investigations into him, I figured out the structure as to why. And it comes from the WF and the United Nations and the Rockefeller Foundation. They spun out Kim Bel-Air specifically to platform independent games under the banner of, you know, like pseudonyms, but it's ultimately just Ubisoft using this effectively government money sourced for various purposes to you know, undermine the gaming industry and turn it into, well, everything we've been talking about for all this time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play the clip, but I want it on record that he's right about everything, folks.
Yes. However, if you do doubt me, please go to Problematic White Guy on my YouTube here and go watch the video. And you can even in the description go and find the receipts, because I actually have PDF files in a Google Drive that you can download from and look for yourself.
Wow, there you go. And I hope you mean literal PDF files, not kiddie fiddlers.
Yes, yes. Yes, documents, PDF documents.
There it is. Nice. Before we dive into the article proper, shout out to my dad using his 6-month membership to say literally nothing. If anyone else is concerned as to how he's doing this well. You know, can successfully press the button. Can't quite say anything in the message. So
right.
That's how he's doing. And if that helps, maybe somebody go to Give Second Go and help, and I'll try to teach him how to use his phone again. But thank you very much, Dad, and we appreciate you here, man. Sir James, aka Nameless. I'm not sure if that is how you pronounce it, because I caught Smash JT pronouncing it very weirdly earlier on. He says pineapple on pizza is good, and I'm not sorry. That's up to you, buddy. Enjoy your pineapple. Eat all of it, so there's none for anyone else. Thank you.
You can have it. You can have it.
Yeah, I'm a pepperoni guy, frankly, and or maybe meat feast occasionally. Pepperoni, bit of ham, bit of sausage, whatever, you know, it's all good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I just get cheese pizzas these days.
That's for the longest time, well into my adulthood. That was all I ever ate. I was like Kevin McAllister.
Yeah.
You know, I was a complete bitch for only ever eating plain cheese.
I'll usually get 2. I'll get one with red sauce and one with white sauce. And
white sauce?
You know, I guess Alfredo sauce.
I don't even know what that is.
It's cheese. It's more cheese.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's a super extra cheesy pizza.
Yeah. What I'll usually do is I'll get the 6 cheese pizza with red sauce, and I'll get the 2 cheese pizza with more cheese sauce. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough, I suppose. To each his own. I just like some meme on pineapple being grim on pizza because, frankly, I hate it. But I know a lot of people do like it. I thought maybe your Alberto sauce there was what we call umami mayo in Asia, because umami is like that Japanese flavor. Category of flavor that no one else can quite explain. But there you go. Anyway, I think we picked up another one while I was doing that, or a couple more actually. No, we got that one. It was just one more from James up for $2. Says check DM Expedition 33 news. Okay, hold on a moment. Let me see what I've got. Whoa. All right. This is worth the interruption for a second, because it is some good news. From the official Expedition 33 Twitter account, 33 days ago, we released Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Since then, we've sold 3.3 million copies.
Yeah.
And note the lingo there, by the way. That's not players, for any Hypnotic fans out there. That's sold copies, baby.
Yeah. I do like the 3 threes.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, it's just as poetic as I would expect from the creators of this game.
Mm-hmm.
They did fantastically well. And I need to play that fucking game more. I've got to finish it. I've got to find some time to get those streams going, especially as people are filling up the bar again. So look for a stream tomorrow. I'll try and put in a few hours on the game tomorrow, and hopefully we can get through Act 2 or something like that. But he said, seriously, as of today, we couldn't make that up. 33 days ago, Expedition 33, 3.3 million copies in 33 days.
That's certainly poetic.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? That's a lovely thing. And thank you, James Up, for sharing that with me. I didn't know. That's fantastic news. They deserve every success for that game. I even saw Shohei Kondo, you know, the Japanese fellow who did all the Assassin's Creed videos and got all the hate from the left for it. He, obviously being a Japanese fella, started playing it and had a stream called "This is the JRPG you are looking for."
Nice.
And I thought that was a nice touch as well. So shout out to him and to James Up. Thank you very much. Okay, so Sweet Baby Inc. exposed. Now I'm just going through the Smash JT article here because Smash JT does great work and it saves me a whole bunch of bother and a whole bunch of pointless tabs. So he pointed out this one summarizing what Gothic Therapy had done, effectively dropping a bombshell report that changes the way everyone will view. I hate that. That's my least favorite thing about this otherwise fantastic website, the way that the margins just go all the way over here, all the way over there. Changes the way everyone will talk about one of the most talked about and controversial consultancies in the modern game industry, Sweet Baby Inc. Make sure you're sitting down for this one because holy crap, it is bad. And you can just hear that in Smash JT's voice, can't you? Should have got him on for this, but he's a busy man in the mornings, so I understand. What all started out as this humble so-called narrative development studio aiming to supposedly elevate marginalized voices, read forcibly inject DEI into the video game industry, may have actually been something far more sinister all along. And, well, frankly, John, you were right, buddy.
Yep.
You were right.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not even going to play the clip.
Yeah, if only people would have started listening to me a year ago, you know? But hey, eventually, you know, every dog has his day. That's right. Everybody catches up to me eventually. See, that's the thing. I'm John from the future. That's right. That's right.
It's John Connors.
I can warn you all about Judgment Day.
John's a Time Lord and his TARDIS broke down.
That's it. He's just here to tell us about what's going to happen a year in the future.
That's right.
1 year.
Last year, people were like, "You're like the Alex Jones of gaming." I'm like, "Hey, thank you." I can't wait for you to actually, catch up to reality when you actually understand why I'm saying thank you.
I never understand a lot of the backlash that John gets. Go on.
When John says that we need to start wearing tinfoil hats, I'll probably just go ahead and start wearing them.
But they actually have to be legitimate tinfoil because aluminum's no good for you. So
how does he know that? How does he know that?
He can't even pronounce aluminium.
Sorry.
But,
well, I'm an American, so yeah. I've grown up with it bastardized.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ryan's not here to get felted when I correct him for his American pronunciations as a Brit, so it doesn't work anymore. According to Gothic Therapy's latest investigation, Sweet Baby Inc.'s founding story isn't just misleading, but may actually be a complete fabrication entirely. The video, titled "The End of the Sweet Baby Lie: Hidden Founder and Built by the Government?" ? By the way, that's Gothic Therapy. If you have time after this stream, because we'll give you the short version, you go and watch them talk about it directly. It's a fucking doozy.
Yep.
Uncovers far more than what anyone would ever have imagined, and what looks like a government-backed operation posing as a small boutique studio.
Yep.
Oh dear. That's the thumbnail you're looking for, by the way. It says this isn't just another takedown, this is a funeral. And the thing in the casket isn't just Sweet Baby Inc., it's their origin myth. Oof. So the buried founder. These are the names that we heard last year. Kim Belair, David Bedard, and if you really paid attention, then you would have got to Ariadne. Or isn't that supposed to be Adrienne? I don't know. McGill, anyway, came together and founded Sweet Baby Inc. in 2018, but Gothic Therapy found official filings that tell an extremely different story. A mysterious man named Terence Jason Huberts. Well, good news, everyone. Was actually listed as vice president, director, and shareholder from the very beginning. Of course, oddly, he was erased from the records nearly a year later with absolutely no explanation.
Yeah.
So what is this guy, like a financier or representative of somebody or other who needs to get memory hold later so that they can install figureheads?
He's like Hunter Biden. He's the son of a politician.
All right. Let's see. And while we're doing it, let's just keep relevant with some of these super chats. Sardoc Spamfish for £5 says, what's the difference between a conspiracy theory and a fact? About 3 months.
Exactly.
At this point, that is true. That number keeps getting shorter and shorter, by the way.
Yep.
It used to be about 6 months. Now it isn't.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Sardat. Long-time follower of the channel. Appreciate you. The cover-up going on here is pretty clear. The Sweet Baby Inc. filings were retroactively changed to assign all of Hubert's shares to Kim Belair, painting her as somehow the sole founder in the media narratives. Now, a lot of the themes of what we're going to be talking about with this and then the Lolsuit shit is the simple fact that there have been an awful lot of glaring questions in all these stories that have never, ever made any bloody sense. Right. How does someone who was last seen making a fucking podcast, whoring herself out in a bra and panties in the promotional artwork for it and everything like that, talking about banging Bowser, King of the Koopas, and all of that turtle dick show, or TDS for sure. How does she suddenly become the CEO of a fucking DEI consultancy company?
Oh, I have an idea. She's a puppet. She was platformed into the position because she was compliant and pliable and already worked for the marketing department of Ubisoft, and they were totally in on it.
Yay! There's
when did I win? When did I win?
You won a clip. Let's roll that clip. Here we go. I need a double speed version of that one.
Right.
They didn't just update the paperwork, they rewrote the past. Here's where it gets really wild. Gothic Therapy traced Terence Jason Good News back to Terry Huberts, a former British Columbia legislator and government official. Oh
no.
Who served in the late 80s and early 90s. So yes, he is a Canadian Hunter Biden. Oh no. Oh no.
Yep.
What else has this man done?
I shudder to think. I mean, I hope he's not that much of Hunter Biden. I'm hoping he's just the front man for his daddy's.
You'll find out later he's like at the table at Burisma with Hunter Biden and stuff.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Like, come to find out that they actually know each other and hang out and stuff.
Yeah, literally. He's the guy who's bringing the coke into the White House and stuff like that.
Right.
In archived interviews, he mentioned having a son named Jason, and they added up, same rare name, same province, same corporate filing, fingerprints. Pretty sure this is a direct match to the same individual. The odds, according to Gothic Therapy, 1 in a million that it's a coincidence. Yeah, these sort of things don't happen. They just don't happen unless they've been done on purpose. But it goes way deeper. Terry Huberts once authored a government framework to embed private contractors into public systems.
Oh yeah. And remember that thing that I was talking about that I did last year? Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. Like, the UN and the WF using the woman from the Rockefeller Foundation. She came up with a funding channel that does exactly that.
I sure hope somebody picks up that phone.
Do what?
Because I f***ing called it!
Anyway, would you look at that? Sweet Baby Inc. wasn't built to tell stories. It was created by the Canadian government from day one. Yep. Hashtag John was right. To top it off, Gothic Therapy discovered that the company had registered an alternate corporate name. Design Sweet Baby. I mean, are they just arrogant for having 2 of the 3 words be the exact same in the same order, or is that?
I'm assuming there has to be some kind of weird, symbology to. I don't know. It's sus as AF to say the least. Yeah,
you could have gone with Saccharine Infant Inc. or something. If you had to have Sweet Baby in there, no. Sweet Baby is a lingo thing for, it used to be anyway. You used to hear it from lefty politicians. Like, I distinctly remember hearing some black lady from the Democrat Party in America referring to a bunch of people as her sweet babies.
Oh yeah. Well, when she's talked about it, they don't want angry babies. They just want sweet babies. But right. But also at the same time to this, I was helping Erwin from Nerd Wars do his investigations, and there's also in Canada baby ghosts, weird ghosts. God, I'm trying to remember like all the different ones.
It was weird ghosts and baby ghosts, and then they were funded by me and Ryan dug into this in
Yeah,
an
yeah.
early episode of
Yeah.
the show. Back when it was just the two of us. I
But
can't
a
think
lot
who it
of
was.
them have like really weird symbology kind of aspects to them if you start looking into like what all that stuff is. And so it's
I mean, dare I try to go back down the rabbit hole and see if I can find my way back to where we were before? So Weird Ghosts is a funding organization behind Sweet Baby Inc. Then you've got Baby Ghosts as well, which is just the most creepy fucking sounding thing. Baby Ghosts. It was here. It was somewhere around here. Research and Impact, About Us. I'll keep looking. But that's creepy as fuck, by the way, don't you think? The Baby Ghosts.
Go to the About Us. I think the About Us.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Yeah. Because one of the people involved in Baby Ghosts, which is another funder of Sweet Baby Inc., is Alec Holoka. Alec Holoka's sister, who received his estate after he topped himself because of Zoe Quinn.
Right. And a lot of these people also have connections to Cambridge University as well.
Yeah, that's right. Cambridge is cringe as fuck, man. I hate that place.
If you want to
Cozy Comic Games, by the way.
Did you guys ever look into Black Girl Gamer's address?
There was something about that, but I've forgotten it now.
So apparently it's this apartment complex that is very well known to have just a ton of just corporations. How can this building have 25,000 corporations all running inside? Yep.
I'm trying to think of where I heard the rest from, and I can't find it, but there is somewhere on this website or on the Weird Ghosts website a link to how they get their funding or how they're backed, because you've got Holoka in there as well.
Yeah, let me see if I can find my old notes.
Yeah, it's gonna be so long ago. We'd have to dig out the original time when we talked about this in this very show, me and Ryan. But back on Weird Ghosts, if you scroll down far enough and you get to funding resources, you will find out that they have tons of organizations: Government of Alberta, Government of Canada, Government of BC, British Columbia Arts Council, Government of Canada, Canada Media Fund. None of these sound like private organizations, unless, of course, they were set up as private arms of public organizations by Terry Hubert Sr. or whatever his fucking name is, which is a distinct possibility at this point. I can't think what it was.
Infinite Ambo was one of them as well.
Yeah, there was someone real shady in there. I can't think what it was, but it was. I think maybe it was
there was another one called Game Space.
Yeah.
And it looks kind of like this weird kind of Illuminati symbol.
Oh yeah, I remember them too. Anyway, carrying on with the modern revelations, but it is all this stuff. You can easily go find it for yourself, folks. The revelation here challenges everything we've been told, and why shouldn't it? It's not like anyone should believe a damn thing this company spews. This curated image of a small, progressive grassroots team fighting for diversity in games looks more and more like, in the end, it was just a well-funded facade backed by state resources and stealth influence. If this connection is real, then the company wasn't just funded by the Canadian government. It was built by a former government official from the beginning. It isn't just a conspiracy anymore. It's evidence-backed, document-supported, investigation done magnificently by Master of the TDS and his wife, Writing Raven. It all begs the question, how many more studios or consultancies are secretly propped up to push political or ideological agendas under the guise of storytelling? Could Sweet Baby Inc. be the lone outlier? I doubt it. No, I mean, there's obviously others like Black Girl Gamers and Cozy Comic Games and blah, 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 all these others.
Yeah.
So there it is. Sweet Baby can run and lie, but as Gothic Therapy put it, we will always find you.
Yep.
Unbelievable to see all this shit.
Yeah.
And it's all tied to the government like that.
Yeah,
and
it
makes sense.
Things that run like this, because remember a couple months back when GDC was going, and I was all like, "Hey guys, TIG, check into it, see what this is all about." And it's Riot Games doing the exact same kind of fuckery and with a front group and a whole bunch of NGO shell corporations, so they can do like this whole weird pyramid scheme of money laundering.
And of course, don't forget Kim Belair, also involved with Riot Games.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. She is their person that they have she was platformed by Ubisoft to do all this stuff, to bring AAA titles into the independent game space, masked as being independent studios, but having all this big money influence piped into it that comes from the United Nations.
And it clearly hasn't been good for her, because she doesn't look like this anymore.
No, she does not. She put on about 40 pounds of fucking stress weight in the last year.
And her hair's gone gray.
Yep.
Fucking crazy. She is, she's too, she might as well have changed her fucking name to Patsy, frankly, because she is so useless and inept at deflecting this shit that, I mean, she actually walked out in 2019 and said,
go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
But hey, that's just a theory. A theory.
Yes.
There you go. So that's it for Sweet Baby Inc. at the moment, but it just is clear that this is like what's been going on with Camelot getting excluded for not fitting the right narrative, with the colors on that website for the Game and Geek Expo.
Yep.
To Sweet Baby Inc. now being exposed.
Kind of similar kind of marketing they use to show the people. Let's get all these stupid circles and put it.
Yep. And all these, shell corporations and blah, 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 blah that we found to this bombshell about Sweet Baby Inc. actually being government founded as opposed to just funded, and everything else. But it's all just different arms of the same beast, the beast that wants you to have nothing to say on the internet, to be unable to report what you discover online or in any other form whatsoever. And it is to that end then that we kind of have to go onward to the main event. Go on.
This kind of segues in the sense that
that was the plan, man. That's why I phrased it that way.
It's because I believe there was a journalist, a gaming journalist that came to rush to the aid of Kim Belair in this whole fiasco. What was her name again? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I don't think it's relevant anymore.
No, it's not. It definitely isn't. It doesn't. I can't remember. What was it? The article, though. I remember the article. It's some Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what some gamers think it does. Strange.
Interesting.
It seems that actually Sweet Baby Inc. does do exactly what some gamers, most gamers think it does, at the behest of the Canadian government. Now, of course, the article is absolute twaddle. What was it that the author said? Something about writing it to dispel a conspiracy theory?
Go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
But hey, that's just a theory. A theory.
Almost as if the entire thing, the entire endeavor, and certainly another endeavor that's been going on for a few months now, is really just more and more arms of the grand effort to remove your freedom of speech and make the internet a place of extreme censorship where no one can say anything contrary to any narrative on pain of lawfare, frankly. Anyone got anything to add before we get into this proper? Go.
Oddly enough, Kim Belair is also something of a, well, I guess, journalist herself in the sense that she writes bylines for an organization called GameIndustry.biz, and one of her articles that I researched, and I believe I actually did some coverage on it. If you want to go double check on Problematic White Guy on YouTube, gets into how she employed Whisper Networks 10, 15 years ago to get people out of their jobs that didn't need to be there so that they could actually, have the Me Too movement take place and change the face of gaming.
Is it this one?
That would be it.
Yeah, I just found it. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, so she was actually saying all this stuff and how, God, look, she used to look like that.
Yeah. And this article is her bragging about how successful they were. And wow, I just kind of vaguely recall, I think she might have been in contact with a journalist. Right around
Journalist
the time
who was transported for free, it seems, to Canada to visit them. Interesting.
And then it's also gotten a free trip on Ubisoft's dime to go to Europe.
Ubisoft, who provided the games industry with people like Kim Belair. Curiouser and curiouser. Nobody? Anything to add?
A whole lot of scratch my back, you scratch, and I'll scratch yours kind of shenanigans going around. Like, the thing is, like,
which is what Gamergate 1 was about.
This is this is one of the reasons that we're saying to someone who, isn't really relevant anymore, that you don't understand the internet. And it's becoming way more clear that none of these people do. That's why they are hiding so much now.
Yeah, they've literally, that's what I was saying earlier about having an echo chamber and them calling us an echo chamber. What did they do when Twitter ceased being a left-wing echo chamber and actually became fair and balanced again? They ran away and built another echo chamber.
I wonder what kind of
Sky.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of desperate links they would go to if people were to start finding all this information that's just in these mundane, boring places that most people wouldn't look, but eventually someone actually gets around to it. I almost wonder if they would try to, I don't know, shut down freedom of speech and expression.
Take away people's platforms, sue them.
Yeah, no, I mean, that just seems like that would just be,
retarded.
Yeah, that would never happen. I'm clearly, you should
malevolent.
I'm clearly just being off my nutter here,
Yeah, there's no evidence to support any. And so it became that Smash JT received a legal threat from a certain lolcow journalist, and I've seen 3 different iterations of this lawsuit at this point, and the common thread between all of it has been that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to go after the guy who reposted something and then politely took it down when you were offended by it. It doesn't make sense to try to take away this guy's life and his legacy after, of course, harassing his wife. It doesn't make sense that when it becomes really clear that your lawsuit has no legs, no teeth, no case at all, that you continue to try to re-amend the initial complaint, but increasingly have to walk away from the original complaint and invent completely new ones. But with the one common thread being this dogged push to keep the jurisdiction in a state that has nothing whatsoever to do with it, almost as if there's somebody in that state that you are trying to get involved in it to, steer the overall outcome to ultimately create a precedent that would set it up so that no one would be able to ever talk about anyone or anything ever again on the internet without being legally actionable.
I think now you're going to have to play the conspiracy video for yourself, because, I mean, it's like...
That's enough of that.
Yeah, I know. It's like, but would someone venture to go and dilute a lawsuit further and further and further solely to get across the idea that stochastic terrorism is somehow a thing? And that
possibly involve a person who had nothing whatsoever to do with it and dox them and go after them and mention them 70 plus times in a single legal document just to try and establish some cockamamie theory that he was influenced into it? I don't know. Nobody. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
You're muted, I think.
He must be.
I hit my mic. I don't know who would do that. I don't even know who you're talking about. This person must be a nobody for
There
all
must
we
be
know.
nobody at all. Nobody fits that
Nobody
description
at all.
at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't got a clue. Nah, no idea. So anyway, it became very clear to us yesterday, I believe it was, that a certain amount of information became available to some of us after a person found it. And, it just seems here that there's this lawyer man. His name is Don McGowan. And he seems to be involved in a video that features a lot of us being misrepresented, clipped, cut, edited to make us look more malicious than in fact we are. A re-upload, of course, as the original video got taken down for actual cyberbullying and harassment. But nonetheless, in response to this, we had a LinkedIn post from a certain Mr. Lawyer Man or something, Don McGowan, who is very much involved in the Lolsuit and wants to tell people about it. Very kind of him to do that, by the way, because it actually allows us to make sense of the whole thing. Why would you want New York as the state when the website that you're, or the owner of the website that you're trying to take down, is not in New York? None of his accomplices are in New York. None of his friends or relatives or co-workers or colleagues are in New York or operate into or out of New York or exclusively in New York, or only ever New York as part of the wider world that has access to this stuff. So why constantly doggedly keep it in New York unless you're trying to control the outcome? And thus that would mean that this was never really about the person that you're suing.
Right.
But really, it's just about the precedent you can set. And I don't know if there happens to be a ruggedly handsome and devilishly charismatic YouTuber who's been saying that for about 7 or 8 months now. Maybe someone whose name rhymes with thrill or something along those lines. But, well, Don McGowan goes ahead and sheds some light on it for us here. And I quote, I've mentioned on here that I'm working on litigation about Gamergate. That would explain why there's so many mentions of Gamergate from 10 years ago in the legal document, even though it's fucking irrelevant. It would also establish why the plaintiff of the lawsuit has decided that it would be really handy to retroactively include herself in a whole bunch of backlinks on Wikipedia, tying her to Gamergate and an organization that she had nothing whatsoever to do with at the time. There's that. Something that didn't make sense until I read this. Here's a video from our client who decided to, our client, really?
Oh,
that's very interesting.
I was wondering, how was it that Alyssa could afford her lawyer? Oh, wait, that's right. The lawyers were looking for somebody to facilitate their own ends. It's almost as though this all came together conveniently somehow for some reason.
Almost as if they were just looking for anybody at any point to have something to complain about, and anybody would do.
Yeah, and it's not like these people hang out on whisper networks. Oh, wait, hold on. They've all admitted to it.
Seems that nobody's not the only nobody in this situation. So here's a video from our client who decided to chronicle the amount of harassment she receives on a daily basis from the internet's worst people. By the way, the internet's worst people is something you might as well slap a trademark on at this point. That is how it is now polite. It's considered absolutely fine to refer to people like us, who you disagree with politically and ideologically, as the worst people on the internet. And quite honestly, I think that's a good name for a YouTube channel. The worst person on the internet. I think it's pretty good.
And that's the worst VTuber ever now. So most hated VTuber ever.
So it is. Somewhat unsurprisingly, the first version of this video was taken down by YouTube because she didn't obscure the email address of the guy who was sending her consistent threats. Well, I mean, the thing is, I don't know that guy, don't know that email. No one I know knows that guy or that email. No one's ever heard that guy or that email. No one knows. So it's relevant. Yes, YouTube, that's definitely private information. Yeah, it is. It is. And
did you guys,
as horrible as it is,
did you guys see that tweet? Sorry to interrupt. Did you guys see that tweet that she made? Sorry. Did you guys see
I
that?
need a break anyway. I've been talking for an hour solidly almost.
Yeah. Did you guys see that tweet that she made that when she said she actually said this, my lawyers are YouTube experts. Did you see that?
To be, wouldn't they?
Oh God.
They said,
well, they're experts in the sense that they want to shut it down.
Yeah.
You know? And so
that's
mean, like this is their whole legal acumen is how do we go about undoing freedom of speech in the digital realm. So
yeah, he says they're not talking much today. Nobody. Well, it's with us because the chat was having a go at him for talking too much in the last show. Maybe be nice. No, you talk, buddy. You talk. That's fine. Anytime you like.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Keep going because it gets better.
Alrighty. Yes, YouTube, that's definitely private information. If you ever wondered whether YouTube profits from harassment, none of the videos where people are reveling in sending her rap threats has ever been taken down. Have you ever seen a single video of anybody reveling in people receiving these kind of threats?
I do not know what they're talking about in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
No idea. No. The only time I ever reveled in anything was when I said that it was funny that when someone had context is important. There was none in her video, right? Because there's a clip of me saying someone got hold of her sister's website and then started emailing people, blah, blah, blah. For full context, the reason I found that to be kind of funny is because I'm British and we have a strong sense of irony. And also, she had then, previously contacted Smash JT's wife in an attempt to interfere with his marriage, and at the same time, of course, called out the internet and dared them to try and do the same to her. It took a day.
And then was surprised that she did. And Harmful Opinions pointed out that very, very well, a few points
Very good video.
Very great video, where he's like, wait a minute, she doesn't give a shit at all. Her sister's she tags her own sister in her fucking X posts with her face everywhere.
Name, everything. Doesn't care until suddenly it becomes tactically advantageous to the cause to care. James Obb for $2, a lawyer making defamatory statements, class action. Good point. This lawyer is defaming people left, right, and center in this very speech.
This was, to me, when I saw this come out, I was just like, oh God, this really is just the cherry on top of all this. Like even her own queerified legal counsel do not understand how to do, no wonder they haven't told her to shut the fuck up. They don't shut the fuck up at the most important time.
Anti-slap is a thing. And it is a thing that has jurisdiction over litigation over this case. This case is a slap lawsuit. It is. There's no question about it. It's obvious to everybody, including poor old Ron Coleman, who's had to write 2 or 3 letters now at this point explaining it. It's ludicrous. Thank you very much, James Obb, by the way.
Thank you.
Also, and I don't know, did I miss one in the meantime? No, we're good. But yeah, so this guy is now, accusing people of reveling in threats. No evidence of it.
Yeah.
Referring to people as the internet's worst people, unironically. And it's not hard to work out who these people are because a lot of them are named in the lawsuit. So there's that. About 15 months ago, when Alyssa wrote the article she mentions, she also asked where are the men who said last time they would never stand for watching women be harassed. I mean, you aren't being harassed.
Right.
At least not by us.
Harassed. She's never got anything back from the internet that she didn't start herself.
Yeah. And I wouldn't tell people to go harass her. I've had the good... I guess I've had the misfortune of actually having to deal with her in an actual one-to-one exchange on Toasty's channel. So I wouldn't need to force anybody to do that. She finds me on the internet.
Yeah, of course. She goes trolling for all of us.
Yeah, we didn't make the R&D threats. Why don't you? It's like I said before. Why don't you go to the police and actually report the people that are making these R&D threats to you? We don't like them either.
Yeah, we don't like that these people get conflated with us in your attempts to build straw man arguments.
Yeah.
So that's bullshit. He says that he said that he is men and he doesn't have a job to lose anymore.
We're about to get another good point of something that I've been talking about and telling people for quite some time. Yay! John's right again.
Yeah, absolutely right. So he put out a series of tweets, he says, in which I referenced my years running trust and safety.
I wonder why what? Hold on, isn't trust and safety the policy they wrote to just flagrantly deplatform people from the gaming systems that they play on? And
it is, yeah.
Oh wow, it's almost as if they're trying to take something over here that they've already done in the private sector and put it in the public sector.
And they think it's too stupid to notice it. At various employers, and how those programs are aimed to keep out assholes. Wow, that's a very technical term there from Mr. Lawyer Man. Indeed. Assholes. Okay.
Wait, is that defamatory? Can I sue?
I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of people who may be provably involved in this by name could turn around and do a class action. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably to Don McGowan himself. Quite specifically.
I mean, right now there's enough screenshots of this already floating around that even if he were to take it down, it wouldn't do anything.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, it says this got so much rage from the dork web that Fox News wrote a hit piece about me. Now, first of all, that's pathetic. Secondly, I don't believe for a second that this guy has ever had any actual engagement or interaction with the actual dark web, because I feel like if he did, he wouldn't have the balls to say this. I feel like there are some really scary people out there that you do not want to get involved with. And once again, conflating a few people who are critical of your client and her fucking vile rhetoric with people who are actual murderers and traffickers and things like that. I feel like a lot of us could probably get together and say, sue you, buddy.
Yeah, it's almost as though he's trying to emotionally coat what he's writing to elicit a response from the reader, that conflating the idea that dorks are somehow the same thing as people that engage in human trafficking and drug running, all this kind of stuff. I mean, that seems like, I don't know, that might be a little bit slanderous, and he might be liable because he went and put it in writing.
Libelous, exactly. And furthermore, dork web sounds like the kind of hackneyed term that his client might come up with herself anyway, like when she tried to insult the panel of the show that I was on, where she said that we look like people who don't shower and have crazy toenails. It's that kind of pathetic, ghetto ass insult, playground level nonsense that really you only rely on when you have no argument. But there you go. So I have 0.1% of understanding of what this must be like for her.
That is evidently clear.
Yeah.
So what could it all be for, I wonder?
I wonder what this could all be for.
Well, let's see here, because it does seem to be spelled out quite adequately for us right here. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the section that proves why all the other strange phenomena, the endless recycling of the complaint, the dogged push for certain legislation, certain jurisdiction, the complete misinterpretation of the terms of harassment and hate speech and such and such and such, and the doxing of just about anybody that you can get our hands on who may or may not have ever set foot in the state of New York or not, is all tied together. And that is that this person here is going to make law. Oh, I see. So it's about creating law, and that law will hopefully be the beginning of the turnaround of today's hate-filled internet.
Oh, Oh, so what you're saying is this was always about censorship and trying to take
Yeah.
away people's civil
So
liberties
wait a
by any
minute.
means necessary.
So wait, is Mr. Don McGowan saying that this isn't about Smash JT at all?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what he's saying, is that they
It almost
just had to
sounds-
find a way to get to the end goal.
Yeah, it sounds like this person, his client, and Smash JT are completely replaceable, interchangeable, and really it was just a group who were waiting for anything, really, any excuse to create a precedent that would censor everybody on the internet forever.
Yeah, it's almost
And
as if
for your own safety, by the way, you sentient adults who are capable of making smart decisions, but apparently are not capable of interacting on the internet without hurting someone's feet.
Oh, no.
It's so horrible. What?
That'd be the worst thing any of us could do. But it's almost as if like they went and specifically found people who had spent the last 10 to 15 years writing arbitrary bullshit for private corporations so that they could actually have the framework for the language that you would need to somehow get it into the public legal system rather than the private legal system where it's all done through arbitration, where one side has all the say. And unfortunately, in the public sector, you're supposed to have this thing called justice and equality and fairness. But why would anybody try to undo that system?
I know. Why would anybody want to undo justice? Strange.
Very strange.
Interesting.
Anyway, James Up is here for $5 and says, no countersuits can be done. I'm having trouble getting this fucking thing on the screen for some reason. No countersuits can be done until the judge makes a ruling on this one. That's true. If it gets tossed, get with Toasty. She already has a game plan.
She does.
I'm privy to a little of that.
Yep.
What I've got a DM apparently as well, so I just need to check that.
Yeah. It is kind of interesting, the assembled panel that we have here today, actually seemingly like, having like, this is, the Sunglass Society that we have here is seemingly like, perfectly situated to tell everyone about every aspect of this fucking bullshit. The only way it could have been better is if we would have had like Brian from Honey Badger Arcade here, because he covered the first Gamergate and he's been covering it for the last 10 years.
Yeah, I was at best peripherally involved in Gamergate. I wasn't really part of it in the core. Not at all. Not like Sargon and people like that. But James up here replying to this says, I think they're in the wrong country. They should move to Europe where they give people prison sentences for being mean on the internet. All right, they can't. Alyssa would be in prison for all the nasty shit she says to people when she starts her internet beefs. Very nice. Very accurate too. Well played. Well played. Very good. Anyway.
Well, she did go to school there.
Yeah.
It continues. It'll be extra hard to turn that ship around. Now that it's the primary locus of support for the current US president, got to mention the Orange Man. Even still, we beat on boats against the current. You are not against the current. Believe me, you are not. Born back ceaselessly into the past. You know who was against the current? A little channel called Reality Based.
Yeah.
Now, interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't
Swallowed by the current. Now, there's more for this that I need to go through a few things and get to. I have another picture that I want to bring up because there are some comments on this article in particular. Some people, they like to come in and cheer them on. Of course, you can't really reply yourself because this is LinkedIn and you would be immediately held accountable. And for example, this person says, I had no idea you'd taken her on as a client. Keep fighting the good fight. Mr. McGowan replies to Christopher V, I'm not the specific person she hired. That's Catherine Tewson. But like remoras around the mouth of a shark, I can't be gotten rid of. So we have this statement here, Catherine Tewson, and you may be wondering, Who is Catherine Tewson? Well, it turns out that Catherine Tewson is mentioned here, by the way, in a screenshot by Liz Fong Jones, who, by the way, also commented on Don McGowan's LinkedIn.
No way.
Yeah. Well, she's here thanking Catherine Tewson at Blue Sky and the team at Cusk Law, so close to accurate, for their support over the past several years, but especially in the work in the past few weeks to stop the harassment at its source. This is not the only positive ID we have on tech employees who use Kiwi Farms. This whole thing is about, and this is literally some links here that you can go through and find for yourself. They call them the Kiwi Chuds, and they've been proactively doxing people who use Kiwi Farms.
Interesting.
And these are the people who are celebrating Mr. McGowan's little rant there. It's interesting. It gets very interesting the more you go through it. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot to unpack. It all came in at the same time too, but yeah, that was kind of it. There's another one. Hold on, let me try and open it, and we can look.
Yeah,
we got
almost as if
this info. More info. Go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's almost as if all their overt, means to try to get people to just go along with the way that they see the world have been lost at every opportunity in the court of public opinion. And they've ended up just looking like rake steppers left, right, and center every day that they try to do this stuff. So they've kind of decided, hey, maybe what if we fell back on all those covert means that we used to actually get to the point that we were so comfortable to do this overtly in the first place? Like, I don't know, let's go and find the lawyers that wrote up the actual terms of service policies and things like that you know, have a legal background and that could actually help us
trust and safety and other methods of controlling speech.
Right.
Coincidentally, more info recently turned up about Don McGowan. He seems to be a friend of Shane Noakes, a pathetic tough guy lolcow who orbits Patrick Tomlinson. Some links here: Kiwi Farms staff, basically. Shane Edward Noakes, Nora Threaver, I don't know, Daddy Cum Cannon. Okay.
All right.
Here's a message McGowan sent to Noakes. Our firm is fighting with Kiwi Farms already. They replied, I'm willing to provide any info I can. There's a lot of cross-pollination with KF and ONA. Is that a legal thing? I don't fucking know. Anyway, doesn't matter. And they're actually, after that was the Liz Fong Jones praise in to this post. So, you know, the fight back is well underway. It's well underway. I replied to 8-Bit Eric, pointing out that we've all disavowed threats of harassment on other people. So if you try to lump criticism in with our actual criminal behavior, that's not dishonest, it's defamatory. You don't get to dodge criticism by smearing your critics as dangerous people. Say some fucked up nonsense, then when she gets criticized, call it harassment, share images of random accounts none of us have ever heard of, claim they threatened to rap her. Literally none of us have ever condoned this, and
none of us would ever want anybody to be subjected to that.
It's, first of all, a horrible, nasty, spiteful and scary thing to do to a fellow human being, no matter how wrong they might be about virtually everything. And it also results in this exact fucking situation where you give them ammo to use against the people who are actually trying to take her on in public, in a fair court of public opinion.
Yeah, you would be a useful idiot and falling exactly to the whims of what they're trying to court. And so,
yeah, exactly. You're ultimately just helping them in their endeavor. This one here, where this name really isn't relevant at all, but the rest of it, X person is going to make law to turn around today's hate-filled internet. As I've been saying since day dot, it was never about a particular person, because we know already that he wasn't even her first choice.
Yep.
She just can't get her first choice.
Yep.
It was never about Smash. It was never about Ryan. It's not even about you, nobody.
Yeah,
I know.
It's about anybody.
It's about anybody and everybody that utilizes the internet or any means to speak out against, corporatist globalism initiatives and things like that try to limit our ability to actually have freedom and liberty to ourselves anywhere for anything.
It's literally an attempt to circumvent people's freedom of speech in order to take away people's freedom of speech.
Yep.
They're trying to expand the definition of defamation.
Yep, and that's why it's all framed under the package of stochastic terrorism, which was brought to our lexicon a few years back by one AOC.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? As these terms that are born on the internet very soon make their way into politics, and then they start losing elections. Interesting. Anyway, there you go. There are more people, of course, who've been joining in. I know Cold Classic Cage fucking wrecked her shit the other day in a really quite magnificent post you should check out at your leisure, guys. But at this state, it is time to just admit the Lolsuit mask has slipped.
Yep, completely off.
Unfortunately for them and their effort, the information has already been delivered to the correct hands and will be used accordingly.
Yep.
As if, perhaps to tell a judge that the case they are trying to avoid hearing, but probably have to eventually because they are otherwise unable to throw it out, has no merit whatsoever and is in fact a Machiavellian malevolent scheme to remove people's First Amendment rights.
Right. Which in and of
And
itself
I don't think any judge wants to dirty their hands on something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems like it's a far worse thing than somebody being called some nasty names in life, like
fairly after being a vile pain in the ass and a cuddle cow on the internet.
Right, and especially somebody who lives in New York City, for fuck's sakes. How many people just I mean, I lived in Seattle.
New York, man. Wasn't that supposed to be like the roughest part of America at one point, New York?
Right. I mean, I lived in Seattle on the other end of the country for a number of years, and people there are not passive aggressive. They're aggressively indifferent. They're like, yeah, dude, I don't care. And then if you push them, they're like, dude, I already told you, I don't give a flying fuck. Get the fuck out. And it's like, oh, okay. So,
there it is. You're right. Nobody, do you have anything you would like to say to this revelation, considering that you are directly named, doxed, and have suffered a fair amount?
Well, I am 12 pages of it. I have my own long section of it. And wow, man, if this Don, may I call you Don?
Seeing as you're on first name basis.
Yeah, since we're spelt my last name wrong once.
Right. That's why I said first name. There's still work on the last name.
Yeah. So if this this was all about, so because I'd really like to know how several times during my section you kept saying on information and belief, where I'm fairly confident that if someone were to look into it, maybe some called discovery, but it might have not been on information and belief. You just believed someone with no hard evidence and made shit up. And I would really like to know why someone would make shit up. Oh, is it for an agenda? Is it for you to pass this weird law to make stochastic terrorism a thing? Girl, stop making fetch a thing.
That's right. That's right.
And maybe Toasty and I should really talk at some time.
Probably.
Yeah. Because I honestly
probably not on YouTube.
Yeah. No, not on YouTube. But one thing is for certain. I am willing to explore legal options. And the thing is, I don't know if I'd go after, some irrelevant journalist. I'm wondering if these lawyers played a little outside the law here.
Yeah, I think that person would probably be irrelevant to the whole thing at this point in time. I would probably just go look directly at the law office and the lawyers that were directly involved in it, because they're the ones who actually have money and have probably been propping her up this entire time, because she herself was fucking irrelevant and could have been anyone.
Yeah.
Yep. By the way, who's his first choice that you were talking about earlier?
It's one of us.
Yeah.
One of the more prominent among us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. It can only be two people.
You're probably right then.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but what's the cost in the last few months of this been? Well, let's see. Toasty, of course, who we just mentioned, and I work with in the afternoon here on the old YouTube and the Rumble space, more specifically, where we're monetized because, she got demonetized. And then I believe 2 to 3 weeks after that, Hypnotic got himself in a strike on a technicality. And then a few short weeks after that, Smash JT got himself a warning. And now, as of last week, our old co-host, Ryan Roger Athay, has now been deplatformed and banned from YouTube entirely.
And one of our current panel was doxxed and smeared for 12 pages.
Yep. And the irony in all of this, the guy who was starting to talk about it from the beginning and has been at every fucking milestone along the way, completely out of it all.
Yeah.
I really, my evasion skill really is off the fucking charts.
You do. It's better than mine, and I'm in a different country on the other side of the planet.
I sought this shit out, and it's not even like, I walked through a fucking inferno.
Dude, I am a little jealous. I get 12 pages and I don't get one clip in the video, in the little montage.
I know.
It's like I didn't say anything that was non-truthful. And there's
if it's
a reason.
any consolation, she would have had to go through a year of my videos and found
I had
two clips.
I had 2 videos.
I know. I have like 60 from the last year. I'm only by cropping what I said. Was it possible to make something I said a year ago make me sound in any way bad?
Right, but you have to understand the reason why she has to do that is because she went to modern journalism school, and the only way they know how to make stories is to create them.
Them. Literally make them, yeah.
Yes.
That's true. Yamato85, member for 4 months, shout out to you, says Mercanti's evil plan for world domination begins. Well, that's what she might think.
Right, but she really is such a bit player in this whole fucking thing. It really could have been anyone. And I honestly, at this point in time, I almost think that the lawyers courted her into doing this.
I'm starting to wonder, because it's one of the other great overarching things that has never made any sense to me in the wretched year and nearly a quarter since the name first fell into my fucking eye line, is why on earth someone who is competent, I suppose, enough to get a job as a journalist is so staggeringly unable to read any room, and less capable than even Frosk to understand when it is just time to shut the fuck up and fuck the fuck off.
Right. It's almost as if they found somebody who is so fucking narcissistic and conceited that they wouldn't even see that they were being, they wouldn't even know that they themselves are being used and undermined in the process. Because this not only is a threat to every person who uses the internet, but most especially journalists.
Yep, and there it is. It's embarrassing, to realize that you are a pawn in a larger scheme, especially when the whole thing has been, built to make it look or appear that it is in fact all about you. You know, and then you sort of realize that actually no, it's really about the same old thing it's always been about. And now that you have that, you know, straight up named, it's not so much, you know, Machiavelli as you think. You know,
no,
you're not Machiavelli at all.
Yeah,
you're just another wise guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I do have. I wanted to see if I still had the information, and I do. I do have. Man, like this would.
Careful now.
Oh no! I wouldn't. I would not be like doing anything that if it wasn't above board. But I have something that would royally, truly piss her off. Because if I dug into an associate of hers, oh god, she'd be so mad at me.
Wow, I mean, 12 pages of a lawsuit. I think she's pretty mad at you.
Yeah, it could get worse.
It could get worse.
I'll put
it can always get worse.
John knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh right. I've heard that name before as well. Yeah, we'll approach this another time when we've had more time to think about it.
Yeah.
But that's definitely a thing. Yeah. Yep.
So,
I recognize that email suffix as well.
But hey, it's only taken us a little over a year, and of course, we're still far from the end of it. But it looks as though we've actually kind of figured out this whole weird scheme.
And this could
for
be
the
done
most
by
part
July.
on information and belief.
On
information
course.
and belief, of course.
That's all we ever have. Of course, that's all they ever have is a bunch of
on
nonsense.
information and belief. This might be over by July.
Yeah, which I hope so. By the way, but James Op told me to check DMs, and the only thing I'm seeing. Oh, I get it. Okay, hold on. Let me.
Oh, what did he get? He's been on fire on X.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is brilliant. Hold on. It's pertinent too. Just give me a second to frame it right, so I don't reveal anything I shouldn't. Because it's private DMs, you know.
Yeah.
Not that there is much, but you always want to be respectful. Here you go. Let's see now. It's Doom, but you're working the night shift at McDonald's. Oh, dude, that's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that is so great. That is wonderful. Might be another clip to include right there.
Oh yeah, that's definitely got to go into the intro in some way or shape. Anyway, I'm not sure. He might have made it himself. I wouldn't know. Maybe he'll tell us in chat. But anyway, it's very good. And there you go. So, wait. It was posted. No. You know what? Forget it. I'll just ask later.
Yeah.
For now, we have got through everything and in quite a reasonable amount of time, by the way. So let's wrap up sort of on time today and get to our outros. Nobody, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on Rumble, X, and YouTube at Nobody Has Spoken on all those platforms. I'm probably going to be, I'll qualify for monetization on YouTube tomorrow, and no one knows really how long that takes to get officially approved. It could take 4 hours. It could take 2 weeks. I'm really close to hitting 100 followers on Rumble. So if you can follow me on Rumble, same thing at Nobody Has Spoken. Hopefully I will be getting some kind of celebration videos in order here for a bunch of people, and I'll have a Q&A live stream at some point. And I am working with Tomby to get my dream live stream idea off the ground. He said he's going to set up a streamer bot thing for me so that we can actually make that thing work that I was talking about, John. It's going to happen. It's
Oh
gonna be a
yeah,
torture
no, I knew
thing.
if anybody was going to do it, it'd be Tomby.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
And, oh man, I'm going to be so miserable.
Just the best way to celebrate
Why?
when this is all said and done with.
I'll tell you after we end.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Some time earlier in the stream, uafomega sent a member chat for 3 months and I completely missed it, so apologies. Saying to play 8-bit Eric for DramaticaLaur, she needs some eye candy too.
Yeah.
I
think she left already.
I'm the only one who doesn't have an 8-bit Eric clip. I guess I need to do one, but I never found out where they came from. Like, I've never been able to find the original post or anything to find that stream. I presume that he did, where he was dancing with the McDonald's when Trump got elected.
Probably like his drunk streams would be the best place to look.
Yeah, so I got to track that down, and I'll try and find an 8-bit Eric clip, something that's different from the others, because everyone's got their 8-bit Eric now. You can hook me up, Skibbity. All right.
I made one even, but it made him a little bit annoyed with me, so I just, I don't.
Well, anyway, uafomega, thank you very much. All right, John, what's going on?
If you would like to go and verify the information that I put out a year ago, or if you just like to follow me, you can use @problematicjohn on YouTube to find those videos, or you can go to X, where I have linked to my Rumble channel, which is really the more important one going forward in the future, and a link to my Discord pinned to the top of my X profile. Other than that, tonight is Latina Candy, so I will not be seen on Toasty's channel, but I will be heard. And of course, I'm there Sunday through Tuesdays. Yep, I know. I just I haven't either. I'm here with her throughout the week, Sunday through Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. And then Thursdays and Fridays at the same time as well. And then, of course, I'm here with Ryan throughout the week on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays at the same time as this show. And then other than that, I'm also on approaching a 1-year anniversary on The Week in Culture, which we do on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. And this past weekend, if you didn't get the chance to see it, we actually had Ryan Roger Thay as our guest, because he had already been scheduled as our guest before the deplatforming happened. So we're like, fuck it, we're going to do it. And you can find that here on YouTube, or you can go over to Rumble and watch it there as well. And you can even watch clips for it on Ryan Roger Thay's channel if you would like to show him support.
It's gonna boil his blood that you keep pronouncing his name that way.
I know. Athay. There you go, Ryan.
Spears out for Athay.
That's right. But yeah, other than that, though, thanks everybody for watching us disassemble and just deconstruct this whole web of bullshit right in front of you. Of course, last 2.5 hours. And other than that, of course, thank you guys for being here with the show today with us as well on the panel.
Look who came into the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Oh, look at this guy. Yeah, just showing up right at the end. You might want to go back to the beginning and watch this one. It's really good.
For you, Smash JT, this is a good show.
Yeah. But yeah, with that said, though, safe travels ahead. Have a wonderful week going forward, and be awesome as always.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Smash JT just kicks the door in at the last minute and drops a $20 super sticker because he is just a fucking legend, and that's how he rolls. And because I'm feeling generous, I'm going to show him how a real booby video looks.
Come here, baby. Let me show something good. Something good. Something good. Something good.
Debricked. Get this guy off the screen. This is not doing
God
Thank you very much, Smash JT. Hope you enjoyed that, and I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, we had a good one today. I'm actually quite impressed with us. There was a fucking ton to get through, and I was pretty worried that at my own ability to bring up the right tab here, the right, and remember how it all connected together, because there was so much of it. So we earned our donos today, and thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you all. For me, I'm gonna be doing, God willing, and no fucking random interruptions, hyperdrive time in the morning. I was planning to watch the old UTK Indie Game Expo because I saw a bit of it when Hypno watched. I saw a bit somewhere else as well, and I thought, I want to watch this properly. So I'll probably react to that and anything else that comes up in the next 12 hours or so, although it is actually only 7.5 till the show. So look for me on Hyperdrive Time. There'll be videos coming out as well. Obviously, we're covering Doctor Who toward the end of the week as we prepare for the finale episode, whenever that actually goes out, because we don't know, because it will be simulcast in every country and in cinemas. So that'll be a pain in the ass. But before that, we have the Thursday version of this show as well. So look forward to that as well. You guys are fucking incredible today. Thank you very much to Sardoc and James Hobb, Fanny, Furious Dan, Raging D-Head, uafomega, DramaticaLaur. I guess I'll include Dad of the Fans, although he didn't say anything. I think it might have been a mistake. Nameless, Sardoc, James up again a bunch of times, Yamato85 and Smash JT for your kind contributions. I appreciate you massively. I'll leave you with the outro, and we will see you on Thursday. Till then, take care. Bye-bye now.
Indeed.